Hi, Miyako.
Hi.
Miyako, thanks for coming today. You know, I need to ask you some questions
Mm-hmm.
because we had some questions from some people about you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they saw you
Mm-hmm.
when I interviewed you like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was almost 10 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, when I was still working at
Mm-hmm.
IBU.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked you if you studied for the test called the TOEIC.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you told me that you had scored like 985 out of 990, almost perfect score.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked you if you had studied for the test, and you said no.
Mm-hmm.
And then you told me the reason why you think that you did such a good a good job at on the test was because you had read books.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did mention about you to many people, you know, and then I wrote about you too. And then they said, yeah, but Miyako-san spent 30 years reading books and got such a good score. But we don't have 30 years. We'd like to get 985 points out of 990 in like a year or 2 years or 3 years. Yeah. Now, do you have anything to say to that?
Yes. So I was at your class, studying at your reading class in 1984 to 1986, I think. I was graduated in 1986. And I was reading some books during I was staying in your class. But after I graduated and I became very busy and I stopped reading English books.
Right.
Completely. I was not reading English books. And then Harry Potter came. Harry Potter came. And I think it was, I cannot exactly remember, but it was 2001 or 2. I started, first book I read Harry Potter in Japanese. And I think I read 1 or 2 books in Japanese. And then I was really excited about the story. And I wanted to read the next book and next book. But it took some time to translate from English to Japanese. And I was not able to, I couldn't wait for Japanese books coming out. So I started reading in English,
Right.
and it was quite difficult at the beginning, but I liked the story very much. So I kept reading, and I read until the end.
The
Yes,
last volume.
I think there are 7 or 8 books, and it was quite thick.
I know.
Very thick books, and I finished reading it, and then. So the reading in English became a little bit easier for me. So I always liked Agatha Christie. So I started reading Agatha Christie books in English. And I read, I think, most of Agatha Christie's books.
You know how many books they have? Like
many.
90 or something.
Yeah, most of the books.
Right,
and
right.
at that time it was easier because I could buy in Amazon. Before it was very expensive, but I could buy through Amazon very good price. So I kept reading and reading, and I was working in shipping company, and when I visit the vessels, there are American crew on board, and they had always English newspaper. And before reading English books, I was not able to understand. I couldn't, I couldn't follow the article on the newspaper. But after reading all those books, all of a sudden, I was, when I have free time on board, I was reading, and I realized that I could understand, I could follow all the articles on the newspapers. Yes. Then, so reading English became very easy for me.
Right.
So I really started reading more and more English books.
Right.
Yes. And then I have to change my career, and I went to a new company, and I never thought about taking TOEIC test because it was not necessary. But this new company, Japanese company, they asked me to take a TOEIC test, and then I was really surprised. I made a very good score,
Right.
and then I told you,
Right.
I
Yes. It was not like 30 years later.
No. It was 2011. I
Right.
started new company, and maybe I started 4 or 5 years.
So
I read
yeah, but you probably when you if you had taken the test much earlier, you probably would have gotten
sure.
the score.
I'm sure.
You just happened to take the test so many years later.
Right.
But what you're saying is that you probably could have scored a lot high, about the same points or marks or the score, even
Earlier.
Much earlier.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So the people who are watching this, it's not like she spent 30 years reading books and scored a 985, and so you think that the reading is really the cause or reason for your English ability
skills. Yes.
Yeah. You do think that people should read lots of books.
Yeah, and especially if you want to improve the TOEIC test score, reading is there are many questionnaires with a very long sentence, and by reading English books, you can easily understand the story,
content
and,
of the
passages.
content.
Yeah, you can understand, and you can easily answer the questions. Yes.
And you can read faster too.
Much faster. Yes, read it takes very long time. They have many long sentences. Yeah.
Right.
So
usually a lot of people cannot finish the reading section of the TOEIC.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could really do that by reading English books. You can really catch the important point even by reading. You can understand the what should I say, the importance of the story. You can really follow the story.
What the story wants to say.
Not by sentence by sentence, but you can really understand.
Right, the message.
The message, right? Message, yes.
Okay.
That I think I really what do you say? That's what I learned
from reading.
From reading.
Yeah.
But I read many books. But I read it not because I had to do it.
Right.
I was really enjoying reading books.
And you selected yourself too.
I selected many books. Yes.
Yeah. It was not like somebody told you to read this book.
No.
You wanted to read it. Yeah.
Right. So after I read most of Agatha Christie, I went back to my old Japanese books and checked, who wrote, original author of the book, and I looked for these authors in Amazon, and I bought those books in English books, and I read them also.
Do you remember any of those? What's the name of the books or the authors?
Cannot remember.
Do you read a Kazuo Ishiguro?
No.
Oh. Do you read Murakami Haruki?
Murakami Haruki, yes.
Do you read it in English?
I read it in English also.
Me too.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
And, yes.
Do you have any message to the people who are watching this? Who wants to become good in English and want to score?
Yeah.
Or score high marks.
So I'm working for a shipping company, and English is very important in the shipping business. And a lot of my colleagues, they are really struggling to learn English. And I always recommend them that, please read English books. But they are not doing that. But
Why don't they read books?
Not sure. Maybe some people, they don't even read Japanese books. Younger generations, they are not reading. They are not used to reading books.
But then those people who studied English at school and studied studied reading in English, why don't they read, do you think, the Japanese people? The people who want to do well on the test, why don't they read?
Not sure. Not sure, but
Maybe they think that reading is difficult.
Reading at the beginning, yes. For me, when I was in your class, when I first took, English book, it was about football, I remembered. And I wasn't sure, it was first time I read that English book, but I really liked the story about English football. And I was really excited when I finished reading that book, because if I didn't learn English, I could never read that book because it was not translated to Japanese, and I was so excited. I remember that.
You think this feeling of success is very important.
Yeah. I think so. I think so. Then I thought, maybe I can read different books and I can learn something. I never learned by reading Japanese books. And I now use my English at work, and I didn't have so much problem or struggling learning English, and I think that is one of the reason is that I liked reading.
Yes.
I think so.
Right. And I hear that you're very successful at your work. You just came back from Singapore. Yeah, and then before that you went to Hong Kong.
Yes.
Yeah, for your job. And so you travel around the world too.
Yeah, and I speak with different foreigners in business. I was speaking with Russian engineer and Chinese purchasing manager or things like that. And speaking in English, and if you can communicate in English, it really helps your career.
Right.
And it's enjoyable. Also.
Right.
You can learn, what other people from different world, what they are thinking.
Yes, yes.
It's really fun.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, I don't want this video to get too long, and so
yes.
Yeah, maybe you can talk about something else next time. But thank you, Miyako, for coming to talk about this.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and then this is the way how Miyako did so well on the TOEIC, and we really do believe that the reading is the cause of good language acquisition. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.